all the faux, all these ridiculous museums just to make money and to bamboozle people, put this in front of us. But you know what they didn't put? They didn't put the 70 or more torques. A torque is a piece of jewelry, you know, it's like a sort of a bracelet, and they're also made for the neck.
Mm-hmm.
That Tutankhamun's tomb was awash in torques that are identical to those made in Ireland. They never mentioned that. They're very selective.
Where are those? Where are all those torques? Where are they now?
Oh, well, that is an amazing. The Rothschild dynasty owned most of the major relics that come out of Egypt. They sequestered it. They sent their agents, and they broke into the tomb of Tutankhamun 8 years before the date of the official opening. Lord Carnarvon is married to a sister of the Rothschild dynasty.
Oh, really?
Funded by them. Yes, and that monstrosity, Carter, that filthy monstrosity,
yeah,
who Carnarvon funded to go in and open the tomb, they had actually gone in with a bunch of local Arab gold diggers, or whatever the name for them is, the tomb breakers.
Right.
He hung out in their house. Carter used to hang out and drink tea at their cafes in Cairo and other places. They were personal friends, and 8 years before the official dates of the opening, they had dug tunnels underneath, broke in, raped the tomb, and for 3 days, in the middle of the night, had a Dakota jet, one of these planes in that era, and shipped all of the contents, not only of that tomb but of others, back to Britain, and they're in the keeping of the Rothschilds. And then the Rothschilds gave some of it to the New York Metropolitan Museum and also the Egyptian museums in Britain, but they did this illegally.
Are you, Michael, are you saying, excuse me, are you saying that 8 years before the tomb was officially found and discovered, yeah, they were in there and raped it?
Yep, got all the information in the Irish Origins book. I got a whole chapter on that.
How disgusting.
Chapter 10.
What an outrage.
Isn't it?
What a fraud.
Oh,
what
and
an
not
incredible
only
fraud.
And the people who knew about it were murdered. There was a murder campaign that also took place to cover up what was discovered, because when they actually looted the tomb, you have to understand, they also found things that they did not want published. Maybe the stuff about the West-East connection, but also umpteen other things that they did not want known. And so anyone who was involved in the funding, the lower sort of henchmen, or even some of the scholars, there was a murder campaign.
Well, that's the real curse of
number of them.
That's the real curse of King Tut.
Well, the curse. I'm glad you brought that up. The curse was actually created by the museums of England and the press by way of the Rothschilds to create this spurious, false, not only totally demeaning the Egyptians as if they're some sort of woo-woo men, but at the same time to also create that these tombs would not be robbed by people they didn't want robbing it until they got in and robbed it. And the interesting thing, one of the documents that they found inside the tomb of Tutankhamun was his life story and how he died. Tutankhamun ordered the death of one of the head Atomist priests that he did